Hi, my name is Nancy, and I'd like to take you on a journey that explores soil health as a metaphor for what is and isn't working in terms of our relationship with our physical bodies and our psyches. This has been inspired by some of what I've been learning about regenerative agriculture and how neglected, fertilized, and sterilized fields are contributing to climate change, and how new practices in no-till and diversity of plantings and supporting the microbes in the soil are actually regenerating ecosystems and improving the quality and health of the food that we eat. I've got a link to a couple of videos below if you want to learn more about that in order to enhance your experience of this guided process. So I'd like to invite you to start by getting comfortable in your body, just beginning that conversation with the soil of your physical body by seeing if there's any specific way that it would like to be moving. You know, are there any little twists or little shifts that are feeling good, or moving your fingers, giving a little bit of a neck massage, whatever's feeling good. Our bodies are often so stiff and still while we're going about our intellectual lives that it's a great way to invite connection just by saying, hey, I hear you. What do you want to move? How do you want to move? And even if you just want to spend the next 5 or 10 minutes just doing this, that's a very just beautiful practice of reconnecting. But if you do feel your body willing and ready to come to a place of stillness, just allow it to settle in a comfortable position that you can stay in for about the next 10 minutes. I'm sitting upright, cross-legged on a pillow, but you might want to recline or lie on your back on the ground. Whatever allows your body to feel relaxed and rested so that you can access some deeper parts of you. And one thing I want to start out by saying is that we rely so much on our minds in this culture and on language to understand and explain and give us guidance. And that's just one small part of us. There are many other parts of us that are older and deeper that don't communicate in words or language, and that doing body-based or visualization processes is a way to access those parts. And so whatever it is that you see or feel or don't see or don't feel is information for you of the thousands of different possible fields that you might see or plants that you might see. There's a reason why your body and your psyche is going to choose to show you what it shows you today. So just allow yourself to get curious and receive, and don't worry about trying to understand or guide what's happening. That process will unfold afterwards. This is just a process of deep listening. So allow my words to guide you, and just take note of whatever you see or feel during this experience. So once you're in a comfortable position, go ahead and close your eyes. And start to tune into your sense of feeling present in your body by noticing your breath. The breath is a beautiful gateway into the body because it's the one function that operates automatically that we can also control. And so the breath is this beautiful invitation from our active, controlling way of being to the more subtle, receptive, creative parts of ourselves. So notice the more overt signs of breath. This can be the warmth or coolness of the inhale and exhale in your nostrils and your mouth. Sensations at the back of your throat. Expansion, contraction of your chest or belly. And sometimes as I do these practices, I notice my body just starts to sway in this gentle rhythmic way. And so don't worry about being completely still during this process. This is tuning in, so let your body express itself in whatever way it needs to. And as you tune into the experience of breathing, just notice if you're trying to control the breath in any way and let that go. Just notice the way it's naturally flowing. And then invite your imagination to join in. By showing you how that breath is moving through the walls and the cells of your lungs. This pattern of cells that looks like trees on a jungle floor. It's literally pulling gases from the air down into their roots, into your veins, your arteries. And watch the oxygen and those nutrients just traveling throughout your entire body, down to the tips of your fingers and toes, through all of your muscles and the marrow and your bones. Nourishing the delicate walls of your gut, and receiving nutrients that all the microbes there have pulled from your food, carrying all of these vitamins and minerals and oxygen up to the neurons in your brain, enhancing those connections. And notice anything that's starting to shift in your body, if there's any tension that's softening, or if there are any places of constriction or soreness. And just breathe into those, just allowing them to be as they are, but just giving them a little attention. Listening to the body, inviting the imagination to get involved, opens the door for deeper parts of you to express themselves. Parts we often disregard, parts that can end up expressing themselves through addictive patterns, through depression and anxiety, through chronic illnesses. Giving the experience of our body attention, inviting our imagination to show us things gives these parts direct access to us. We can speak directly. It's just like a child, if we're able to hold them and listen to their tears and their anger. You know, they don't need to act out in other ways by stealing or destroying things. They can speak to us directly, even if we don't quite understand what the words mean. We can feel their experience. We can ask them to draw a picture or sing us a song, or show us in some way. And just our willingness to be present and listen is very powerful. With befriending these more wild, untamed parts of ourselves, inviting them in. And so I invite you now to ask your body, your psyche, to show you a field. Knowing that this field is an image that represents the health of your body and psyche. It's a metaphor for your current state of health and wholeness in this moment. And it's also a way of listening to the reality of the planet right now. All those lush, wild places that are thriving, and all those places that have been degraded, deforested, over-farmed. Our bodies sprang from the body of the earth. Our psyches are connected to the collective consciousness of all things. This thriving wellness is as accessible to us, is as real as this destruction and this devastation. It's the background, soil and earth of our daily experiences. This collective health and suffering. It's the foundation of our individual health and suffering. And so begin to explore this field that your body and your psyche has chosen to show you from what it knows of the literal world and literal planet, and of what it wants you to see and understand about your own inner landscape. And know that there is a reason why you are seeing precisely what you are seeing out of all of the possible fields that exist. And trust it. And so look at the surface of this field. What, if anything, is growing on it? How tall or large is it? Or do you just see a couple or one kind of life, or many? Or no life at all? And can you see the ground? If you can, what color is it? What is its texture? Is there anything that you smell? And now allow yourself to penetrate the surface of this field and look beneath the soil. And what do you notice there? What is the texture of the soil? color, its temperature. What, if any, life is there? And invite your psyche to bring this scene to life, to show you what cycles are happening here. How is everything living above and below ground interacting? How are they connected? Or what's missing? And now sense if there is anything that is needed to tend or enhance these cycles. Or is there anything that it needs less of? Look for things like the presence or absence of water, of microbes, root systems, of pockets within the ground, of sun. Whatever it is you're shown about what's working in the system and what needs support. And then use your imagination to provide that thing, to restore balance. Whether that's planting a greater diversity of seeds, or shifting the climate slightly, or bringing in some little critters to be tunneling and transferring nutrients. Whatever your imagination shows you is needed. And know that this is not only a way for you to envision tending the literal depleted soils of the world, but it's also a metaphor for what your body needs right now. And you do not need to understand what any of this means. That will come later. Just open yourself as wide as you can to receive as much as you can. And as you inhale, feel as though these images and this wisdom and these sensations you're receiving are traveling into you down through your throat and your chest and settling in your pelvic bowl, the base of your torso, as if there is warm, moist soil there for these images and insights to seed. And that you do not need to remember or understand them all, but just knowing that you've invited them into you that they will continue to hibernate and germinate and sprout in their own way, in their own time within you. And then take a final moment to look out across this field and share some gesture of gratitude that feels right to you, that intuitively comes to you for this place you've been shown, for the part of you that has shown it to you, for the wisdom and strength of your body and psyche that endures. It's incredible resilience. Its loyal presence every time you turn back to it. And know that this place is a part of you. It's part of your own inner landscape, that you can return here anytime. No matter what changes and shifts around you in the outer world, you can return to this place, to tend it, to be nourished by it, by the things that grow and live here, to learn from it. This is your inner garden in a way. And slowly begin to feel yourself returning to your physical body. You might intentionally inhale and exhale more deeply. You may begin to move your body, sway, wiggle your fingers and toes a little. You turn your shoulders from side to side. Or maybe even twisting your pelvis back and forth to really help root into the ground of your body. And as you inhale and open your eyes, just take a moment to glance around the room, really turning your head, taking in what you see, really noticing the contrasts between light and dark, the colors, the edges of things. Allowing yourself to become present back in this physical space and really taking a moment to notice anything that feels different after doing that exercise. If you feel more comfortable in your body, more relaxed, a calmer mind, or maybe you're very restless and agitated because that was challenging. You didn't see a whole lot or had doubts during the process, or maybe you fell asleep. These are all totally natural things. Relationships take time to build, and not every date and every adventure is a fun experience, but if we care, if we're committed, we keep showing up and we keep listening and we keep honoring that connection by taking action to the best of our ability based on what we see and hear and understand. So a great way to do that right now would be to grab a journal and write down anything you noticed about sensations in your body, images you received, any initial ideas you have about what any of this meant. And then think a little bit about what you might do now with what you received. You know, did you get a clear message about something that you need to try in the outer world, maybe a lifestyle change, or a new insight or perspective or attitude that you might want to jot down and put on your mirror, your bedside table, so you'll see and remember it. You know, maybe you want to bookmark this video and do this regularly to revisit this place. And a lot of times, just like learning a new language, it can be a little difficult to just infer from context what everything means. It can be helpful to have an interpreter, someone who's more fluent in that language, to help you navigate. And that is one of the services that I provide, is doing one-on-one journeys like this with people, and also taking time afterwards to explore what it meant, or even looking at dreams or images that have come to you prior and starting to explore how that might fit in with the personal myth that you're living through your life. You know, our lives aren't just about our outer achievements. They're also about, what did our souls come here to learn and experience? What is the unique niche that the animal in our body was born to live in? What is your unique genius and gift to the world? How does that connect to and plug into and serve what's happening on the planet right now? How are we part of that unfolding and that healing? And also support for the fact that when we do reconnect, it's not all bliss of belonging and wholeness. When we reconnect, we are able to access so many resources beyond us, but also suffering beyond us as well. And so there are tools and practices and communal support that can really help us stay engaged with these deep conversations with nature and our bodies and our psyches, so that we are a broad enough, resilient enough container to really stay in the conversation. So I hope that you got some insight from today. I hope that you feel even 1% closer to your body, to those mysterious parts of you that lie beyond your day-to-day way of being. And I welcome any stories and experiences that you have, or any requests for future content I can provide, or any way that I can support your journey. Again, my name is Nancy. You can explore more on my website at www.innerwoven, INNERWOVEN.net. Thank you.